Welcome to my channel. My name is Tim. I am a retired educator living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we talk about all kinds of stuff here. Today we're going to talk about minimalism for people that don't want to be minimalists. Yeah, for a lot of you who watch this channel and who watch other channels like this where we talk about minimalism or essentialism or decluttering from time to time, it will come as a shock to you, I'm sure, that more people in this world are not minimalists than there are minimalists. There are people who do not want to rid their house of a lot of stuff. And there's some reasons for that, and they're valid reasons, and I respect that. Some people are really hanging on to items that are of sentimental value. I have a few that I keep. Now, I've mentioned them before. I have a desk that my dad bought. I have a chair that was his. I have a putter that my brother used to use, and his cane sits next to the fireplace. And you know, there are bits and pieces here and there, but I know of people, and I've been in homes where, you know, there's just a lot of things in the house that remind them of their family and of people who came before them and the history of their marriage or all the ways their kids grew up and things. And they've got walls, covered with pictures of all kinds of things and a lot of knickknacks sitting around maybe that talk to them about places that they've visited over the years. And there is a level of comfort, I think, that comes to them being surrounded by these sentimental objects. And I get that. I do. There are others who they like the extra things around them because it's almost like cuddling up inside a security blanket. There's a sense of calm and relief that comes from knowing these things are here and being able to look at times at various things around the living room or in the bedroom and being reminded of areas of their life that have gone by. Those things are important. I get that. Some people have spent a lifetime building their personality into their home. And so they buy items that reflect things they like, and it is an extension of who they are as an individual. And I think that's important. I don't try to diminish that whatsoever. We all need to be able to express ourselves in a creative way in some way. And for a lot of people, that is the way they have chosen very carefully the items that they have placed around their home. And then I think there are probably people who get a lot of inspiration from having all of these things around them. Artistic types who like to have, their paintbrushes and their paints and their easels and whatever else all around them in the room. And again, maybe that's part of an extension of who they are and their personality, but it also breeds this sense of inspiration to create. And I think that's also an important element that we should not diminish. But I believe that there are minimalist practices, just tidbits of things along the way, breadcrumbs, if you will, that can benefit all of us in some way to make our lives a little less stressed. But you don't have to go overboard with it. For instance, one thing that you could do, you don't have to go through the last 15 years of paperwork you've got stored in a filing cabinet somewhere just in case the IRS calls you. You don't have to go through all that and digitize it, but you could start today and get electronic copies of paperwork if that's what you want, or take the paper copies that you have and scan them and store them. Now, you need to have a backup for that. Obviously, you don't want to just store them in one place. But you could eliminate a lot of extra bulky papers moving forward if you just started today doing a little bit of digital cleanup. Leave the papers there where they are and don't bother with them until, they're old enough that you can get rid of them. But just that one little step moving forward could benefit you in ways that you may not totally understand right away. The other is, if you have a closet filled with clothes. As a minimalist, I don't do that anymore, but I get it. There are a couple of things that you could do. One is to divide your wardrobe between cold seasons and hot seasons, if you live in such an area. And while we're in the middle of winter, store the warm weather clothing in some bins. They make them that can slide under your bed. You don't have to get rid of them, but just give your closet a little bit of breathing space. And then when the warm weather comes, put the cold winter items away and put the warm weather items back up on the hangers. But in addition to that, you could adopt a very simple minimalist outlook of saying, anytime I go out and buy a new article of clothing, moving forward, I'm not going to get rid of anything I've already bought, but moving forward, if I buy a new shirt, I'm going to find one shirt to get rid of. If I buy a new pair of pants, I'm going to find one pair of pants to get rid of. And that way you're not adding to the bulk of clothing in your closet. You've at least stagnated the growth so that it's manageable. And that's a minimalist practice. You can also begin to opt for quality over quantity. You don't have to buy 6 of something when one really good piece will do. And I'm thinking mainly about clothing here. I know for my mom, for instance, she has clothes that she has had for a long, long time. And they are just as nice today as the day she bought them because she invested in quality clothing when she could. I, on the other hand, I was always looking for the cheapest thing out there for years. Why buy a $65 shirt if I can buy one at Walmart for $15, but the one at Walmart will tear up in 6 months, and the one for $65, as long as I can keep from spilling ketchup on it, will last me a long time. By putting your money into quality over quantity, you automatically stop the spread of your stuff. And that also is a minimalist practice. And then there is this idea that maybe you already have enough stuff. And so rather than purchasing more stuff, as George Carlin would say, you start to look at purchasing experiences for you, your spouse, your family, your kids, and you spend your money in ways that allows them to enjoy life while you're here to observe it. There is a lot to be said for watching your family enjoy the benefits of your good living, if you have one. It is one of those things where you can just decide, I don't need to give a lot more stuff to my kids at Christmas or on their birthdays or on their anniversaries, but I can provide them with a meal out, or I can provide them with tickets to a show or a movie downtown, or I can provide them with childcare while they go out for the night and let them enjoy something, and giving them the experience as opposed to just something else to take care of. There are just little tiny habits of cleaning your workspace off at the end of the day, or making your bed first thing in the morning, or making sure to wipe down all of the kitchen counters after you've cooked. Just ways to keep the house decluttered and clean without letting it sort of add up and spill over. I am notorious for using my dining room table as a catch-all for my things until I can't stand it anymore. And then I go through the process of putting them away. And if I would just practice this little habit myself of making sure that table is cleared off before I go to bed at night, I know I would be a lot happier. And it is a habit that I'm trying to instill in myself for 2024. Digitally, you can turn off some notifications on your phone. You don't have to be notified every time something happens. I'm talking to myself. But the constant dinging of the phone, the constant notification from the phone is distracting and can be annoying and can also bring on stress. Taking the time not just to delete unwanted emails, but if you don't want to get them again, take the time to go down to the bottom of that email, find the unsubscribe button, and click it. And then you only have to delete that email once, and you will never get it again. That's the plan. Some marketing companies don't abide by that plan, but that's the plan. And just begin to declutter your inbox a little bit without having to go through and make sure that you're at inbox 0 every day. These little breadcrumbs of ideas, they are things that minimalists and essentialists and decluttering people, they are things that they do pretty much on a regular basis. And they fit the lifestyle of someone who does not want to be a minimalist. Just these little tiny things can open up just a crack of space in your life that you might find you enjoy, and you want to widen that out a little bit over time. Not going to say you're going to become a minimalist, but you may decide that taking a few more steps along the way might be of benefit. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've got ideas for people that don't want to be a minimalist, things that they can do that minimalists typically do that would make their life easier to live by, leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you've watched all the way to the end. And turn on that little notification button so you know when a new video comes up. I post every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, every Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then occasionally from time to time, there might be a bonus. We'll see you next time.